All right, fellas, salute. I know it's Monday, but it's time to put in some more pain, man. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero video. And as you can tell by the screen today, we got another producer interview by way of Jun Furutani. And I think in this interview, he's going to be going over a lot more of custom battle and things that we really haven't seen too much of lately. I know I said in the video yesterday, custom battle is one of the things that it seems like they're really trying to keep under wrap when it comes to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. You know, with everything else going on right now, thank God we don't know the entirety of everything going on with custom battle. But without further ado, fellas, let's see what the boss man Jun Furutani has to say in this one. And this interview is by way of Bandai Namco, if I'm not mistaken. This is just Bandai interviewing him themselves. So the first question is, what was that first question again? What was the incentive for reviving the Budokai Tenkaichi series after so many years? Okay, question one is a question that pretty much every official interview that he's done with like a company has asked him. So first of all, we're aware that this game series has a very strong fan base. Strong fan base ain't the word, and we are very grateful to have such loyal fans. 17 years ago, we launched the third installment of Budokai Tenkaichi and concluded the series. But now, oh, we back, baby. 17 years ago, guys, how old were you guys 17 years ago? 17 years ago, and my cat just jumped on the desk, if y'all can see him over there. 17 years ago, I was 10 years old, man. That's the last time a Budokai Tenkaichi game came out. I was in elementary school. Like, that's insane to think about. Since then, there have been several other Dragon Ball games, filling the time in the gap for Budokai Tenkaichi players. And it looks like we got a guest up here right now. But given the development in the gaming technology, there was inspiration and incentive to create a more immersive and modern Dragon Ball experience and explore moments that were not in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, like, you know, everything that's happened in Super. What inspired, hold on, let me pause this. What inspired the development of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and how does it build upon the legacy of the Budokai Tenkaichi series? And if it seems like I'm just blazing through this video, guys, I'm literally in class right now. We're on a freaking lunch break, so I gotta blast this out. Wait, hold on, let me get the little man off here, guys. I don't think y'all have seen him in months, but this guy is super fat now. This is my little man Yugi right here. Little man is super fat. You see this guy, huh? So, okay, time to go, man. We gotta work. All right, so what inspired the development of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and how does it build upon the legacy of the Budokai Tenkaichi series? Of course, as I said, this game is a sequel to the Budokai Tenkaichi series. It is named Sparking Zero because Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was launched as Sparking Meteor in Japan. And I know a lot of you Budokai Tenkaichi fanatics, you guys already know about the whole Sparking franchise and everything like that overseas. As a successor, it is important that players who played the previous games have an experience that is new, but also fits seamlessly into their old memories. This is going to be a super nostalgic game. That's hands down, of course, we know. When they play the new game, it should feel like, oh yeah, this is familiar like the previous games. And even after playing it myself, I still really feel like this is like a crossover between Raging Blast and Tenkaichi. We also kind of evolved it and put in some new mechanics, like, of course, Revenge Counter and Super Perception and things like that. So what improvements have been made since Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is going to be question number 3. And I'm not sure how many questions are going to get asked. If I could just guess off the length of the video, I'd say probably between like 5 and 8, if I had to guess. One of the main improvements is that you can experience the superpowers of Goku and others in real time. What do you mean by that? One of our main goals is to let the players experience, I guess, what it means or what it feels like to be a Dragon Ball character. Yeah, exactly. See, we've seen some of these questions get asked before, so we're not completely in the dark about how he's going to answer these either. For example, when Goku starts charging his ki, the weather in the background, the environment itself changes. We've seen this numerous times. I remember in the initial trailer that they showed us like last year, oh my god, that was one of the points that they hit on a lot. Like if you hit someone with the Kamehameha, for example, and blow them away, when they hit a building, the building will crumble or a mountain will be destroyed. So all of this interaction with the environment is in real time. It makes the whole thing a much more immersive experience and makes the player feel like they're really inhabiting the character. So on top of these real-time features that we just explained, We thought about how to make the player's experience even closer to a Dragon Ball experience, and I definitely feel like they nailed it hands down. For example, like in the Dragon Ball series, you can instantly move from one place to another using a quasi-teleportation. There are other things like when you're attacked, you can counter the attack and fight back, and this is called a revenge counter, one of those new mechanics that we talked about a moment ago. These are all things that the fans know from the Dragon Ball series, which are now added to the fighting system, so that you can have an even more Dragon Ball-like experience. And question 4 is going to be, could you tell us more about the episode battle mode and the impact of players' decisions? This is actually a question that I don't think they've been asked in their interviews before, talking about the impact of players' decisions in episode battle. So this is going to be really interesting to see what he says here. So as you can probably see in previously released videos, there is an option for players to kind of make this almost like an RPG, to make choices within episode battle which will impact how the story will proceed. But at the same time, there are certain outcomes of battles that I guess are constant, I would assume, that may also impact the outcome of the story. Oh, so these outcomes can impact the story as a whole. For example, if within an episode battle you win against an opponent that in the anime you weren't able to beat, I guess that changes the story altogether. He's going to answer, this may impact upcoming battles and battle scenarios. Both the choices that the player makes and the outcomes of the battle may influence the chance that the player will experience new battle story paths. Therefore, ideally, the player should try to become the character, think about how they would react in that situation, and enjoy the different battle experiences that arise in episode battle. I'm actually really excited for episode battle. Of course, episode battle is based on the original scenario, so naturally, these choices and these different outcomes are limited to certain battle stages and will not be available all the time. So question 5, okay, now we're getting into the custom battle portion of the interview. Question 5 is going to say, talking about custom battle, how much freedom do players, oh, that's the word right there. That's the key word right there. How much freedom do players have to customize and create new scenes and events? And I do want to say, guys, sorry if I'm reading this kind of too fast or too slow. At some points, he's going kind of fast, and at other points, he kind of slows down a little bit. So it's kind of difficult to keep the pace of how he's answering these questions. In the custom events, you can customize a lot of things like the positioning of the player, the camera movements, the pose, or the facial expressions, etc. Players can choose from a variety of pre-made options. You will have multiple poses. For example, there are dozens of pre-made poses that you could use, and there's also like a collection with dozens of pre-made facial expressions and so on and so on. So of course, as we expected, a lot of things in custom battle are going to be pre-made, and we're kind of just going to be fitting things how we would like them to go. Additionally, there are scripts and subtitles that you can add to cutscenes. There's a pre-selection of roughly 5,000 lines that can be used. Oh my, the voice actors were putting in some work with this game. Within these texts, you can also switch certain nouns. For example, you can change the name of characters like Goku or Vegeta. Oh, that's pretty cool. So this way, you can create a good dialogue within the scenes that you're building. 5,000 lines preloaded into the game, bro. Them voice actors was putting in some pain in this game, man. So question 6 is going to say, what's your favorite in-game feature and why? And it looks like this might be the last question, maybe one more if I had to guess, but question 6 might be the final one. So Jun Furutani is going to reply, for me, the best thing about the game is that you can actually become a character. I think is very, very important. Therefore, we put a lot of effort into the real-time features that we just talked about. These features allow players to experience superpowers. They allow you to become superpowered characters and use their special moves. Every single character in the roster is unique. That's a big point to hammer on right there. Every single character in this roster is going to be unique. They're going to have their own unique fighting style. That's going to be so cool, man. It's going to make everybody's experience different depending on who you like to play the most. I can't wait for that part, man. They all have big special moves, but also very small, minute movements that make them different from each other, like punches and kicks that are customized so they feel unique. We put a lot of effort into these small details, which is what makes this game so special to me. So of course, I would be happy if the players hopefully notice all of these details and enjoy the immersive experience of becoming a Dragon Ball character. And that is going to do it for Jun Furutani's last, or I guess most recent interview with Bandai Namco when it comes to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Guys, I hope that got you even more pumped for the game than you were before, especially the portion about episode battle and custom battle, especially episode battle, bro. Well, I guess custom battle, 5,000 preloaded lines, bro. And we already knew all the different things you could customize, like aura, the particle effects, of course, the stages, positions of characters and things like that. There's going to be it's a lot of freedom. We would probably want a little bit more if we're really being honest. I mean, just having total freedom in custom battle, it would make things absolutely nuts. But I think being able to upload your own custom battles to like a network or a server or something like that, and everybody else can play them. Maybe you can have a custom battle code and you can send those out to your friends and they could play them. I think that part of the game is going to be exceptionally cool. I'm surprised he didn't mention that in this interview, but I think that's one of the coolest things they're doing so far with custom battle. But anyways, fellas, that is going to do it for the most recent interview with producer Jun Furutani for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Once again, I really hope that pumped you guys up even more for the release of this game in like 2.5 weeks now, guys. We are at the final stretch, man. 2.5 weeks before we all have our hands on this game. I guess if you pre-ordered it, I don't know the exact length of the dates right now. I have to look at the calendar. But anyways, fellas, have a great day. Let me know down below in the comments what you're most excited about when it comes to custom battle freedom and episode battle, all of the choices you can make within story mode to kind of change up the outcome of the story. And I'm gonna see you fellas in the next one. I got to get back to class. Bye, guys.